Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to podcast episode 8 of the Crawler Theory. We will be starting shortly, so please grab your coffee, relax, and thank you for joining us on this beautiful morning. All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. To Crawler Theory, Episode 8. I am your host, Itsy Bitsy 30. It is early for me. Rolled out of bed, alarm went off, and my goodness, we are here. And we got coffee. My Lanta, Lord of Mercy. I will be sipping on it this morning as we're doing this episode, because holy rejuvenation time. But good morning, good afternoon for some of you, maybe, depending on the time zone that you are joining us today. Feels good to be awake, feels good to be alive. As always, as we start our podcast, I will not be referring to chat for the 30 minutes to an hour. I'm not really sure how long this episode takes, as it could be prolonged for a little bit, depending on how much we want to expand on these topics. So, I didn't really have a title for this episode. But the general theme, and the other thing too, which is pretty crucial, to spur ideas and motivation and get the brain cells working, I collaborated with our friend, none other than ChatGPT, for thinking bullet points. Good morning. But the overarching theme is going to be inside the mind of a long-term streamer. Why we're here, why we're still doing this. What is Bitsy doing 7 years later? And why, actually, is he doing it? So I'm going to do my best to put that in a wonderful presentation box as I'm waking up, sipping on coffee. It's going to be a little bit more relaxed. It's going to be more like you're sitting across the table from, a friend, listening to me ramble on about something that I'm passionate about. So relax, sip your coffees, sip your matchas, as it were. And we haven't done this an episode in such a long time, so this is going to be fun. So alerts are going to be turned off if anyone subs during the stream, because this will be posted to YouTube later. Just know everything's going to be turned off. Alerts doesn't mean I don't love you, just for the sake of the episode. So let's take a sip of coffee together. Let's get this party started. Yes, there will be a Q&A section. I normally like to leave it towards the end of the episode, um, where you guys will have about 5-10 minutes to like ask. I'll open it up for questions, and if there's a question throughout the what I've been saying throughout the episode that you guys actually want me to read, want me to respond to, I am definitely more than happy to ask that later on. So write them down, jot them down, or keep a mental note for later. So here we go. What inside the mind of a long-term streamer? Here's some bullet points that I'm going to be talking about. And I think everything's just going to be melding together because this is like one big story. This is one big story, one one big chapter that's been perpetually going being written in my life for the past like 7 years. So, how the scene has changed since I started streaming. Um my goodness, has it ever? I'm just going to give bullet points because my brain is already turning, okay? How the scene has changed since I have started. Lessons I have learned over the past 7 years. Oh boy. All right. I could probably take an hour just talking about that. All right, let's continue. What I would do differently in the streaming realm in the past 7 years for myself, or maybe collectively as a whole as I see streaming. Boy, why I stuck with it. Need 3 hours for that one. Favorite moments and goals now versus back then. So these are all going to be some topics to talk about. But um, I'm pretty sure I could only pick like 2, 3 of these because I'm just gonna once the ball starts rolling, I'm just gonna go. So, how the scene has changed since I've started. Um, I, I believe 2017 was the real like kickoff year um for me actually dabbling in streaming. I remember 2016, I believe I got my PlayStation 4 slash PlayStation 4 Pro. And I remember sitting in my living room and being, well, man, it was like this dawning awakening time. Like, if other people are doing this thing, because I shortly before that, I came across the Twitch app and I started seeing all these big streamers, Summit and Tim the Tapman and Nick Merckx. These are all like big guys. As I'm going through the app, I'm like, oh my God, thousands of people are watching these people. And even though I had nothing, not a follower on the platform, I was like, why can't I start this? Keep in mind, I was not raised with video games. I was not video game inclined and in touch. Okay. In fact, my parents really did not like video games. They did not encourage them. They were just like definitely just not encouraged whatsoever. So in my early adult life, I came across a video game console, that I really truly loved and owned and would play casually. But then my mind shifted and the platform was really really new for me. So but it was also much smaller, like just on the scale of Twitch as a platform back in 2016, 2017, compared to now. I mean, we're probably looking 3-4 times the size, at least probably even way more than that. I didn't even know the scale of what Twitch was at, which they were pretty huge already as a platform, as an established source of entertainment and streaming. However, I mean, you look at it now, we're talking like 30, 40 million streamers worldwide. and that might even be a little bit on the low side. So just the popularity of and expansion of, because I mean, the COVID happened, 2019 happened. Everyone was building PC setups and desks and everything. Because what's better than playing video games with friends, and then playing video games with friends that like the same video games as you, from home, at your own setup, and having a pretty PC that lights up, and you get to build it with friends, or not maybe at the time, um, but just from the standpoint of the entire platform, how it has grown, um, and then my goodness, breaking it down to just looking at how the app has expanded, the website has expanded. They're now adding iterations of hey, save your highlighted clips, your regular clips, I believe. No, not your regular it was highlighted and some other feature. They're limiting to a 100-hour per month restriction, for the lack of I don't know, storage and servers and this, that, the other thing. So everyone's kind of scrambling. I mean, we're talking next 3 days that this is happening. So everyone's scrambling, saving their highlighted clips, saving some of their other features on what the website holds. I believe regular clips are going to be left alone, but you don't really um process the thoughts of like the back end things that go along. Like, I'm just going to stream, and it's always going to save, and clips are always going to be there, and blah blah. And then platform says, oh well, hey, it's all over X. If you follow Twitch and Twitch support and everything, like, hey, we're going to be rolling out this feature. You have a couple days to save your stuff, and then if it goes over the 100-hour limit, then it's done. They did say that there's less than 1% of streamers that use a certain percentage of the 100 hours. So they're like, no, everything should be fine. Everything should be safe. But then you see these websites popping up, and everyone's like, well, are your Twitch clips going down? Are you in panic? We've got you. Blah, 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 blah website. You could download and store your clips for free. And like, oh my God, like, what are we doing here? I don't think it's going to be that much of a big deal, especially if they've done their research saying, hey, most of you don't even use 100 hours, and we're giving you 100 hours for one of the things that the platform has drastically changed on. We're talking policies, we're talking. I must say, the Twitch app in 2016 versus the Twitch app now has drastically 100% changed. One of my favorite things about the platform, even with its faults, and a lot of people don't even like the redesign. There's so many intuitive, easy to use, really well integrated features within the Twitch app. And that's if people keep it updated. LOL, I'm looking out to the crowd. But very, very, one of the better streaming apps in my opinion. So, the website, has not changed as much, but one of the other things that I have absolutely loved about the platform that they have just beautifully integrated is they have really given you the analytics page for the streamers to see numbers and chats and earnings and everything. I mean, there's so many features that I think majority of the people that want to, that are streamers, content creators that are on the platform want to stay there because they have so many analytics to see and breakdowns of for their business. So it's really important to know how many viewers you have, how much money you're making from ads, how much money that you're making from this, that, the other thing, gifted subs, regular subs. And they have like 20 different things that they break down. So it really is a beautiful thing to see. I have viewed Twitch as grown with the times quite well. and it's something that I greatly appreciate about the platform there. Um, but let's move on to one of the bigger topics that I've wanted to talk about as well. And this is from the ongoing list here, and we're already a big chunk into the podcast. So, um, why did I stick with it? And this question gets reiterated in my mind and repeated over and over throughout my daily streams on pretty much a weekly basis. Um, I mean, after every live stream, when I'm doing closing statements and thank you everyone for joining, and you'll hear me shout out the community more often um than not, is because I feel this beautiful connection to the people that are watching, supporting, following, and well, at the end of the day, it's quite simple. I love my community. I love the people. I do this as a source of entertainment and connection with them. And from day one, really, I started thinking about, even before I started working on my first branding, project for the channel, the name, the logo, everything. Is I was like, well, what is my motivation for this? Because I'm already a small streamer. Like, I'm gonna be a nobody. So like, why should I propel forward? And why, like, what's gonna be my motivation? And I found it very addicting right from the start. Is if I have people that show up and rely on my schedule to amidst Bitsy being late, what? Rely on my schedule to show up and interact and to laugh and create memories, and I mean the list goes on and on, is that makes it all the worth it anytime, anywhere. Mobile stream, office stream, whatever, birthday stream. We've started that tradition. Like, the people and their hearts and the fact that they open themselves up to a consistent schedule, which we'll get to. Actually, that's a sub point. Um, but I do it for them. I do it, because in turn, it fills something inside of me to know that there's beautiful, kind-hearted folks out there who love joining other people in the same things. And this could be for anything really in life. But when it pertains to streaming, man, there's so many beautiful things that you learn from people and about people when you unite them in a community that has features, that has Maxwell's and redemptions and points, and wonderful emojis and video games and topics to talk about constantly. New things are happening, new technologies, new PC builds, new games, and the people that have passion for that, which is a large amount of people in the world, um and they start coming together and saying good morning to each other. I just saw this beautiful, story unfold the longer that I did it. And I said, well, why would I the the longer that I went, the harder it was to say no. Because why would I stop to my wonderful people that were tuning in and be like, yeah, I'm just calling it quits. I can't possibly think like that. I can't. It would have to be drastic, for me to even stop for a bit. And I think that's been my motivation. It's never about the money or even the cool tech. I could be a mobile streamer. Now, granted, I love the tech and building PCs and all that cool stuff. But it's never that can't be the backbone. Like, congratulations, you built another PC. Now what? Do you know how to relate to people, talk to people, love on people, inspire people, make them laugh, and have an amazing time, and surround yourself with amazing individuals that you could call your stream family. It's a very special thing. And like I said, it's a very in the good sense, it's a very addictive thing to have, because just as much as you guys like to tune into the podcasts and the live streams and the clips and the vertical content, and we have so many platforms that I've tried throughout the years as well. It means the world to me. I'm just as excited to see everyone tune in every day, and it's all about you guys. And it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. I think that almost on a weekly basis at this point, still, if I'm being really honest. And it's something so deeply ingrained into my mentality that's just like, this is what I do. This is, no, I'm not the biggest streamer. Coffee sip break. I am by no means the biggest streamer. However, I cannot picture my life without this integrated in my life. I've even talked to Em about this. Um, there is not going to be a part or a point in time where now I'm just no more stream. That's it. Bitsy gray haired and 50 years old. Yeah, maybe I won't have gray hair. I don't know. But just like, okay, yeah, remember those days? Remember those days? No, I'm gonna be looking at some of you guys, and everyone, all my friends have gray hair, and everybody's still just like, oh my god, 172 months. No, 760 months in the stream. I want that. Because it's just always going to be a thing. Very important to me, very close to my heart. But it's because I've established those principles of, this is why, this is my passion, this is why I tune in and show up and put my best foot forward. And there are failings along the way, and it's actually one of the next bullet points. I'm not going to go into it super in depth right now, but um there are failings along the way. You pick yourself back up and you just keep trudging along, because holy smokes, it's important to do so. There's a lot to learn. A lot of people um don't really give a whole lot of credence to what streamers do, how their minds work, all that stuff. My apologies. I am getting phone called as we speak right now, so I'm just trying to. Okay, but moving on to the next topic, um, is goals now versus goals then. Um, and it's really, I've never been one to really talk about the specific goals. I know that for the stream, for myself, so on and so forth, there's New Year's goals. I know the last couple of years I've just not wanted to say anything. New Year's comes around and people are posting, my New Year goals for this, that, the other thing. I want this many likes and this many this and this many subscribers. And how could I ever pinpoint that? How could I ever like set a number to that? Yes, I could loosely have, my goal is to grow. Can I say my goal is to grow 10 followers in the next week? I, I that has never made sense to me. That has never made sense to me. It's never really clicked. Because everything has to happen organically. Because once you start chasing numbers, I really do feel like you start losing control and focus of what you're there for. Okay, you start being pushy, you start becoming salesman-y, do this, click this, follow me, do that, this, that, the other thing, and everything becomes check boxes. And for me, I can't set a number. I can't set a number on why so many people didn't follow me in the past week or the past month, because that is just I now know enough and have seen trends enough I just know that it's unrealistic. Now, does it work with some people? I do believe that it works with some people. Um, but I mean, even the large streamers have goals, but they don't push. Maybe because they're large streamers. However, they might have enough momentum to keep pushing them forward, because when let's say you're housing 5,000, viewers, you're just going to be found no matter what. So there's going to be hundreds of followers, maybe a couple hundred followers a day for you. But even then, I mean, if you have 300,000 followers and you're trying to push for 350,000 followers, are you even going to say that in stream? Like, is that the mentality that we should be chasing? Are you going to be shouting yourself out and drop a follow, drop a follow? Um, and for the people that have known me for a while, I, for the most part, have really stopped doing that as well. Um, and because I just don't see, organically, organic growth. People are going to follow when they want to follow. And yes, it's my job to market myself well, but should I be really keeping that as the focus? My focus needs to be the best version of myself in the present moment every day, to push through, and not even push through. That sounds bad. It sounds forced. And not that it's forced, it's just to keep plugging away, because if my mentality is so much farther ahead with two, three, four goals that I want to do and achieve, I'm losing sight of what I'm doing right now. So I'll set up the goals. I'll set up the donation links. Like, hey, this is, my bigger goal for equipment that I need, which I'll cover at towards the end of the episode. This is, followers, subscribers. I've stopped doing shout outs for subscribers even, because I know that, there's a group of people that when it gets put on their heart at different times, they'll gift the 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 subs. It, it'll happen organically when it happens. Now, yes, that makes it very kind of difficult to be like, oh, am I making numbers? Like, how big is my next paycheck going to be? Or, my follower goal has stayed the same for 2 weeks now. Is that healthy? I think it is. I think it is, because for me, it taught me a mentality to really be, hey, organically over forced. Okay, which is why you see platforms like Kick and a few others just be really like, whoa, we have so many users on the platform, and we have people with 500 to 1,000 viewers and 5 chatters. And that's just like so sad to me. It's so sad, because it nothing happened organically. I don't know where the heck the view bots are coming from. There's no way to check it. There's no way to, right? So when I see like 10 viewers and 2 follows and a couple subs throughout the day, I'm winning. In my brain, I'm already winning, right? Because now people are finding me organically through the category and the game that I'm playing. And they, for the most part, want to engage, and they'll stop into the chat and all this stuff. So it's that has been my mentality. And I know that it might be straight up backwards for some people, for thinking that way, but it's kind of helped me release a lot of anxiety and tension for myself and in my brain and emotionally, to be like, oh my god, I'm failing on a daily basis. Oh my goodness. So what are my numbers like, and what are my subs at, and what am I haven't gotten a follower in 2 weeks. That's got to be something wrong with me. Because I don't want to market myself just being like an ordinary. fun type of guy that plays video games and likes to do things, but like, all right, we're 2 followers away. We're 2 followers away. Everybody hit the follow. Everybody hit the follow. There's been like maybe a handful of times that I've done that throughout the past 7 years. You will not find me doing that on a regular basis. Go on, guys. 1 follower, 1 follower. I've known streamers like that. And yes, it insinuates growth. Hopefully that's the word, the correct word there. But it produces growth on some sort of level. But at the same time, when that hype stream or that hype moment is over, then what? The following day, you go live and your numbers are drastically down because there's not enough hype, there's not enough call outs, there's not. So are you going to be a salesman like the entire time and just like, let's go, let's go, let's go? I, I, I don't know. It's just a little too weird for me, you know. So that's been as far as goals. Going back around to, you know, just a simple topic. How do I view growth goals, you know, followers, subscribers, and I think that's probably the best summary I could give when it comes to that. Um, it just is not something that I'm going to be pushy towards. And I think that's worked out. The longer that I've streamed, I think that's worked out a little bit better for me than some of the other methods that I had mentioned. Um, and I think I'm comfortable with that. I think I'm okay with that. You know, there's growth to be had on really both sides of the mentality there. Um, you know, however you want to present yourself online, however you want to market yourself online, it really comes down to you as an individual as well. I've known super hype streamers. I've known super like very low key streamers. There's it's the mentality and how you want to drive, because you're the one driving the wagon to begin with, right? And everyone's going to follow your lead, right? There's moments in time where I am a hype, I am whatever. Like our giveaway was fantastic, um, you know, and it was a time to just like do this now, go, follow this, that, the other thing, do the, you know. But that's very specific moments in time, and everyone truly does get hype. You feel that energy shift change, and I think people draw that energy from you as well, is because, oh my god, okay, you know, big thing going down, let's do this thing, everybody follow, everybody like just smash everything all at once, you know. Feel like a rage room, just yeah now, you know, everything's going crazy. Like, yeah, you get a T-shirt, and you get a mug, and you get the excitement, and everyone's like hyped up on 5 cups of coffee. Anyway, everyone take a just pause real quick, take a sip of coffee for me. Mm-hmm. Very beautiful, very nice, very good. Um, and all right, so there's a question here, or a bullet point in here that I've kind of been uh negating, I would say. I was looking through these bullet points, and there's what I would do differently. Eh. Um, it kind of stems from similar topic of what we were talking about. What I would do differently is getting educated a little bit sooner. And what I mean by that is I would I would have, from early stages of doing branding and things like that, I would have known what the platform, I knew what it was about, but I didn't really know the inner workings of. So I would have definitely looked into, you know, simple things like, oh yeah, I have Google, huh? You know, like I could Google what is natural versus unnatural growth for this platform. And I actually got caught up in the whole follow for follow. That was a huge wave era in Twitch history. And just platform history. Didn't matter if it was Mixer, you know, YouTube, whatever. And just really not the most highlighted moments when I look back. All right. And what I would have done is just because I didn't know and I was so eager for growth. I'm like, okay, so if I join this community and I do this Reddit and then this, and people are dropping follows and I'm getting seen, that's great, right? But then I would go live and still to one viewer. I was like, how is this happening? I had like 50 followers this past week, and I'm still getting one viewer. Now, actually, granted, that worked for a short period of time. I believe the follow for follow era for me. Early on, we're talking like sub 100 followers when the channel was little. Um, that worked for a little bit. It would influx the viewage because people would be like, "Ooh, I like this guy's like spider logo, whatever. I like this guy's something. I like his panels, and they would stick around, ask a few questions, and they would be like a genuine viewer. So yes, apart from my wife being the constant one viewer, and then I would have like two other people. That is really how I made my Twitch affiliateship is, my wife and about two other friends that I managed to attain online. And then they would just support me through that process. And we did that for a couple of weeks. And, sure enough, we maintained like 3 to 5 viewers and then bada bing, bada boom. But something that I've learned is don't do follow for follow. Okay. That's stupid. Again, forced growth. All right. You don't want that. It's inflated numbers, inflated, fake interaction. It's stupid. Um, so that's definitely something that has always stuck with me, always kind of rubbed me wrong. Is there a point in time in Bitsy history that I was not really proud of, like the era, if you want to say, the growth period. Yeah, it would probably be that. It would probably be that. There was like a solid like 6 months that I was just like over the moon, just, oh my God, it's 100, 200, 300. And I would just like count it by the hundreds, every couple of weeks. It was like, look at me, I'm growing. And it's just like, really? Was that like the best way to go? Again, educate yourself on the platform, educate yourself on, like just how to do online business or streams or, heck, YouTube viewers, like how anything. Because there's a lot of like just little tidbits that you just pick up along the way. They'd be like, yeah, okay, cool. Okay, now I'm starting to grasp the bigger picture here. Because it was such a short term, monetary thing of like, I feel successful now as a streamer because I got all these people following me. Fantastic. However, they didn't really stay and stick around. And I don't want to say it was the groundwork of stream either. Hey, it was a time. It was a time, and you know, um, I think a lot of people experienced it. When you say follow for follow, people know exactly what you mean. Streamers know exactly what you mean. It's a thing that a good generation experienced in the past decade with streaming. I'm not sure that it happens anymore, especially because I do believe that Twitch actually came out and made statements like, "Hey, follow for follow is not great. Don't like promote it online." Twitter, everything, like the community groups, and they just disbanded everything. They just kind of permeated the industry and said, "Hey, follow for follow is just not a way to go." Like, you know, it's just not a healthy way to do things. So I remember I was legit part of like some groups that were, oh yeah, we'll rate each other within, you know, this group, but you got to be part of this group, and I need to see the logo in somewhere on your screen in order to raid you, in order for me to like give you hype and blah blah blah, because we're all part of one big family. bro. That once that disbanded, and I actually remember sitting there, like looking because I had it like by my cam overlay and just like, where are these people? So like some of these streamers have like 80 to 100 viewers, and like their chat's going and it's fun, 40, 50 viewers. Like I'm part of this community. Where are my viewers? Never got rated, never got hosted from, and I'm just like, okay. So it's one of these. It's one of these. It's not really that great. Um so learning points, that's probably the biggest one. The other one is and this is just semi recently is you do have to protect yourself, on what you've built and your online presence as well. I'm still learning stuff about Discord. I didn't know there were some features about Discord that they've had for I'm assuming a couple years now. Um, but like protecting your online presence and your community. There have been times where I just feel like people joining were the ones wanting to take over what I created. And it was like, whoa, hello, hey, hi, how you doing? You're a guest here. This is what I've built, right? And there's security features and a few like Discord is a great resource within itself, but there's so many features within Discord, for inviting people in. There's things and checklists to go through and like security features and everything that is fantastic. I encourage people to look into that. And same thing for Twitch. You know, how do you negate being or is it follow botted? I remember that was a really big risk a couple years ago. Small streamers would just get follow botted. It actually did happen to me. Now that I think of it, I was like, why does that sound so familiar? Like for me, I did get follow botted once, and it was awful. It was just like 2,300 people just followed. Was it twice? Maybe. Yeah. So I, it, third party websites, this, that, the other thing. Now you're worried like, oh, Twitch is gonna view you as some body account, and you have to like go and reach out to them, and then they say, hey, I didn't want this to happen to me, blah blah blah, and Twitch staff, yeah, we understand it does happen, blah blah, okay, you're still okay, you're not gonna get red flagged, but like it's a whole thing, and then trying to just get rid of those followers from out of your account, which was a website, thankfully, that really did a great job for that, and it would just erase that portion of bots that you received, and everything. It was wild time, but hey, there is precautions for that even. So yeah. As far as I believe the one of the points that I had as well. What were some highlights? I would say what because this spurred it on. The opposite of being view botted, follow botted, or mostly follow botted, is when you get large sums of people coming into stream from raids. That have been highlights. I've had 3 absolutely massive raids from huge content creators, and now knowing more about them in hindsight, because I wasn't really following them or following their content until I got rated by them. People like Symphony. Yeah, I've been following the guy for a couple years now, and he rated me twice a couple years ago. Absolute highlights. Absolutely amazing. One was like late night, tried not to scream in the middle of the night while Emily was sleeping. And all of a sudden, you just have 3,500 people just show up, 5,000 people show up, and you're just like, okay, all right, where, how do I, whoa, hey, and the same thing with when I was playing Tarkov. Um, I got a raid from Glorious E. Didn't really know his name. Didn't know that he was like a Turkish streamer. Hopefully, I got that right. Oh heavens. But at least I believe he is. But that was wild as well. And like that would be a favorite moment because I know that I had that as a bullet point, but favorite moments. So we've transitioned into that, but um, definitely highlights, definitely amazing times of growth, of opportunity. You've felt really seen for the work that I've done, validated for the work that I've done. You do this thing for years and years, and you're just like, oh, will I ever get noticed or whatever? What are the chances that Symphony raids not once but twice the same guy? Like that's a little crazy. I'm shooting for a third time. The lucky third time. So my Warzone days are not over. Um, but really, really good stuff. Really amazing, amazing memories throughout the years for sure. Um, yeah, story games are probably the next. Yeah, I tell you what, some of the highest highlights is the collaborated streaming or streams that I've done with M for The Last of Us 2, was it Thor Ragnarok, um maybe even the first Spider-Man. I'm not sure if that was just strictly me. Maybe that was me for like the first stream or two. But yeah, people get people get crazy giddy seeing, me and, wifey stream. Just like, Jawan even recently was like, oh, this game, it's yeah, play it with your wifey, play it with your wifey, like you have a blast, let's go, come on, let's like duo it up. Is that even a thing? Duo it up? Yeah, no, that's a thing. Okay, it just sounds really funky when you say it fast. But um what other games? Thor, and then there's Uncharted. Buddy, Uncharted, where we're just constantly, bawling our eyes out. Or maybe that was The Last of Us 2. No, that was definitely The Last of Us 2. We bawled our eyes out so bad. I just, yeah, that was, I was distressed. I had to take a break. Had not touched the game for about 2 years after that, for starting to replay it again. Did not even want to touch the game for because I was just so distraught, crazy. But all right, so we got 9 minutes left of the stream. I could open it up to questions, comments as I continue rambling for the next little bit. But yeah, I appreciate everyone, tuning into the podcast. We've had a steady, little chat going as well as I've been doing this episode. Definitely was a little bit nervous. Had never really taken bullet points and started breaking down bullet points from Chat GPT, but actually worked out really quite nice. And I like how that went, and it kind of actually lined up some nice bullet points for me. So I feel very confident about that. I think I'm actually going to start using it more. For those of you who don't know, just here is going to be a little bit of announcement time. So I'm actually trying to not me, but through ChatGPT and just the workings thereof. I'm actually working on a website for Twitch side, and it's going to be I wanted like more specific analytics of a non-paid version of, and it's not like I want to launch this or become big for this, but unpaid version website, simple for TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, a few other things, for seeing a very simplified list of followers, and then be notified when people unfollow. And not for like any crazy reason. I just wanted to see those stats. Like, I want to see real time charts of like growth and everything. I know that Twitch provides a little bit of it, but I don't. I don't know. It was also an idea that I had when I was like, what can I do with ChatGPT? So I started like putting inquiries there, and now I have the mobile app, and it let me tell you, it's been a process. It's not as easy as I thought. So something that I've been working on, a working website for streamers, analytics, really nice, beautiful UI, color schemes, all that stuff. So, really cool stuff. And who knows where that will lead me, right? Who knows where that will lead me? And if I have a website for my community that people utilize, why not? Why not? Like here, this is what I've done. Enjoy it, enjoy my website. I'll have it somewhere posted in stream as a link and whatever. So and it's fun, as a test project. I think it's fun. So um yeah, as long as anxiety, like counting growth. Yep. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Um Definitely something to be careful over. And it's not like I want to do a tit for tat sort of thing. Uh, but it's just like, I think it still could be cool knowing personalized, real time. There's something about like a real time update, um, sort of thing. That's kind of where my mentality was. Could crash and burn, could lead nowhere. And then I'll try a different project, and I think that's just, keep learning, keep driving in different directions is kind of where my mindset is. So the other thing is, as of last night, it's been several months of saving up for this, but I have actually pulled the plug on buying a Rodecaster Duo, and that there was a several donations on Throne that were already made, and I just added to that. So that is ordered, and my audio interface is about to change drastically. I've been getting error messages on my Go XLR because that is on the way out. I think sooner than later, unfortunately. So yeah, new tech hype is real. I really do think that just in the interface alone, it's going to last me the next several years of where I want to take audio and dual PC streaming and things like that. So Throne is amazing. New tech is amazing. But yeah, it was a hefty chunk of cash, but my God, I am extremely excited. It's going to push me in different ways and just in audio that I never even knew existed or have used and am used to, because this thing has features that I'm not even sure I'm going to use. That's how high tech it is. So really excited. And I will have another microphone set up finally if I wanted to. So if Em wanted to do a podcast with me, she has an XLR microphone. I have a second one, with cables and everything. We just plug in and go, right? So it has two XLR connectors to it. So both of us have the capacity for IRL podcasts and me having friends over with professional audio. So anyway, really the expandability of it is quite nice. The feeling that next level of growth is really nice. And every so often you got to make advancements, and I haven't made a large advancement in my setup like this in a very long time. So really exciting stuff. Really exciting stuff. So I wanted to tell you guys, thank you for, hey, like I said, I've been saving up for the past couple months. Thank you all for subbing, gifting subs, gifting the Throne. All of it does add up. All of it does make a huge, huge difference. Very grateful. Very grateful. Or when we stream, we could chat too. Yeah, and that's a very, very amazing aspect of it. So even just game time, podcast time, all of it, all of it. Any other questions, concerns, inquiries about stream, where stream is headed, what we're doing here, anything like that. I'll take one or two more ideas. We have about 2 minutes left, and then episode 8 is wrapped up. I will say that I will probably take a little bit of time posting this episode on YouTube. I will post it on Spotify first, and then YouTube later. We're still going through kind of a lockdown period on stream right now, and social medias and Linktree things right now. But I don't see an issue with Spotify, or haven't had an issue with them yet. So you will probably see and recount. I don't know what this word is, but you'll see the episode on Spotify to stream at a later time. If you guys missed it, and I'll be posting that in Discord, and a few other places. But if we don't have anything, any outstanding, were there any other comments that I missed that you guys wanted me to go back to? Hysteric, I know you normally have a few. We have a few people in here, but yeah, if I didn't miss anything, I'm probably gonna wrap up this episode here. I think we're good to go. But all right, that was a really good that was a really good time. That was a really good episode. I always feel rejuvenated when a podcast occurs. I'm not sure why I get so nervous for these episodes. All right, but I do know that I get warmed up real quick, and my goodness, it's been way too long, is all I could say. Thank you so much for joining me on yet another episode of Crawler Theory. I am your host, Itsy Bitsy 30. I hope everyone has a fantastic, fantastic morning and afternoon, and I will see you guys in the next episode and on the live streams. You can find me on twitch.tv/ItsyBitsy30 and ItsyBitsy30 on all platforms, on all the socials, whether that be X, YouTube, Instagram, Kick, Trovo, Rumble, wherever. All right, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.